Play different.
Greetings, fellow Mac addicts. As I mentioned in my recent update video, I purchased a Apple Bandai Pippin. Quite a few people wanted me to do an unboxing video. It's not something I really planned on doing, but it was quite requested by a few people, especially the retro Twitch community, who told me about the lot that I purchased. So let's go ahead and do it. So here's the box. Lovely little orange thing here. Box is in very good nick, actually, almost new. So let's crack it open. Okay. There's that. And here's the actual Pippin itself. Still wrapped up. This was new old stock. So this Pippin has never been turned on. This is the standard white model. It's the most common one. There's also a black Japanese one. This is a Japanese model, by the way. A black Japanese one. And a US model. But that one's very hard to find. So here we are. In all its glory. Some USB ports here. Headphone jack. The disk drive. A collection of buttons up the top for playing audio or VCDs, as this was not just a video game console, it's also a multimedia powerhouse, which may have been one of the reasons it didn't do too well. Back here, what have we got here? So uni composite here, got the VGA, power cord, of course. I've also got a printer port here and a port for the modem. I should mention that I'm going to be doing a proper overview of the Pippin at a later date. This is just an unboxing video. I'm not going to be going into too much detail about it, about what it was designed for, how it didn't do too well, and so on and so forth. So let's carry on in the unboxing now that we've got the big kahuna out of the way. Okay. So we got some instruction manuals. This one is for the Pippin Navigator. It's all in Japanese, of course. Manual for the internet kit, because it's connected to the internet, as I mentioned before. And as I mentioned before, it's all in Japanese. And here we have the manual for Word Paint Mail. This is all the bundled software. We'll see the CDs in a second. So yeah, it came with the productivity software as well. Alright, here's the rest of it. There we go. Let's put it up here so you can get a good look at everything. So here we've got the general manual here. We've got another manual. It's time for the Pippin Network CD. And here is all the goodness. First we've got all the bundled software. So we've got the CD-ROM catalog. This is full of video previews of other software that came out in the Pippin or was to come out in the Pippin. So this will probably be the first thing I do a video on. I'm not even sure what this one is. I'll just hold it up to the screen and be the judge. Here we have the internet kit. The Pippin Network CD. Pippin Navigator. And here we have P's, which I can't remember what it is, but I'll do a video on it, so you'll find out. So I have the modem here. There we go. So it's a 33K modem. Nice, nice. The future is now. Let's pop it back in. Here we have the Pippin controller. This is the first time I've ever held a Pippin controller, so it's very exciting for me. So we have the D-pad up here, which feels not too bad. 4 buttons here. They feel as firm as I like them to feel. And we've got some shorter buttons back here, although they're really more like neck buttons. I believe these act as left and right mouse clicks. And here is a trackball in the middle here for navigating the mouse. And we've got some more buttons down here as well. So there's quite a few buttons on it. All these ones feel nice. These feel much nicer than the ones up here. So this one is wide, and it hasn't been taken out of its packaging yet. This is still new. You could get wireless ones. They go for quite a lot of money on eBay though. And here we have an assortment of cables. The video cables here, and this looks like a VGA cable. Oh no, of course, this is the the power cable. So that is it. That's everything that comes inside the Japanese Pippin Atmark box. I'm quite excited by it. Everything's in tip-top condition because it is a new old stock. The lot I bought also came with a stack of software, so I'm going to go through all of them now. I should warn you that you are going to see my face, so if you want to keep what I look like a mystery, I suggest you stop watching now. But for everyone else, let's go. Ba. Ba is Chinese for number 8. That lesson is for free. Okay, so I got my marathon shirt on, see? Very appropriate clothing for what we're about to do. So I got all the games over here next to me. I shuffled them up, so I don't know what's going to come next. It could be a series of boring things or a series of exciting things. Well, they're all exciting really, but some more than others. Well, I can see what the first one is here. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is Gadget. Invention, Travel, and Adventure. Some of you may be familiar with this one. It is a FMV adventure, well, pre-rendered FMV adventure. It was also released on PC and Windows, and I believe also on iOS recently. So if you want to check out yourself, it's easy to do. Let's chuck it over here. Next up we have Carnival of the Animals, Music Island number 4. I'm not sure what these are exactly, but I hope they're interesting because I have 3 out of 4 of them. From my understanding, they're multimedia based around a certain piece of music or ballet or such. In this case, it's Carnival of the Animals, as I said. Right over here, we got number 2, which is based around the Nutcracker. Here's the back of it for if you want to see what it looks like. Ooh, exciting stuff. And I'll show you the back of Gadget as well. With this, I'll start doing that from now on. I'm still getting used to this webcam here. There we go. This is still sealed as well, for those who care about that. Next up we have, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but Chisato Moritaka. Here we go. This is also sealed. Yes, this is also sealed. Pippin and Mac. So this is based around a pop singer in Japan whose name Chisato Moritata. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, which I know I am. So here we go. Here's the back of that one. Ooh, very exciting. So I'm not sure what that one's about either, but I guess it'll be themed around her music. Next up we have, oh, this should be interesting to quite a few people. I have anime designer Dragonball Z. That's right. Dragon Ball, gotta catch them all. So this is supposedly the rarest Dragon Ball Z game, although I'm not sure if I would call it a game. It falls into a category that I call creatainment, meaning it's creation software, but it's not really for professionals. It's more for amateurs and just goofing around and stuff. I was quite interested in this one because it's, well, not only is it very rare, but it was made by the people who made Flying Colors, which is a piece of software some of you may be familiar with. Here's the back of that one. So basically it's just Flying Colors but with a Dragon Ball Z theme. Apparently this goes for about $300 to $400 on eBay, so we're hanging on to that one. I can't remember the English name of this next one. I'll just show you the cover. Some of you might recognize it. My girlfriend's eyes lit up when she saw this character. Apparently she knows who it is, but I don't. Here's the back of that one. Ooh. I just assumed this is going to be some kind of edutainment thingamajiggy. Okay, I quickly did some research. It is based on a children's book series called and Pan Man. So there we go. Research is important. Next up we have High School Rumors, or at least that's the anime it's based on, the US name for it anyway. Again, I'm not sure what this one is about. It just, during my research, it just says it's a CD-ROM based entertainment title. So that could be anything. Here's the back of it. With a crack there, which is unfortunate, but whatevs. There we go. Next up, we have L-Zone. This was created by the chap who did Gadget, which we looked at earlier. I'm excited about this one because I believe it is language free, so there should be no language barrier of this one. It's a Myst style adventure. Here we go. So that should be fun to check out. And next up we have Victorian Park. The back of it as well, as we not much to see there though. This one's also new sealed, new old stock I guess. This was created by the same people who did Titanic and Adventure Out of Time and Dust Wild West. In fact, it uses the same engine as Dust a Wild West. So I'm pretty excited to check that one out. It's odd because they're an American company, but I'm pretty sure this only came out in Japan and also only for the Pippin. And it is a adventure game, so it's going to be puzzles and talking and all that sort of nonsense. So next up we have Yellow Brick Road, which is also new and sealed, or new old stock, however you choose to describe it. This is an RPG, and not the only one for the Pippin, surprisingly. I believe this was the people who made Gadget and L-Zone were involved with this one. It certainly has a similar visual style. And I said it's not the only RPG on the system because the sequel is also on it, Yellow Brick Road 2, which is also new and sealed, well, new old stock. There it is again, so it's pretty much the same deal as Yellow Brick Road 1. And that's still not the only RPG on the only RPGs on the system, but I don't have the other one, and also I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. The name looks very hard to pronounce for a very, very white person such as myself. I'm going to give it a go. Shichi Soku-san, or Shichi Isi-ko-sen. Let's go with that. Look it up for yourself. So this is a business edutainment software. And so it's an informational title, according to the research I have up here. And it incorporates subjects from the art of war. It's kind of funny how it's a business edutainment software, because on the back here, it's like, or on the front, I should say, it's got like war simulation, Shakespeare, business strategy, case study. So I'm actually kind of interested in what's going on here. And in fact, if we look at the back, it looks like it's a little bit of a strategy game going on there. So it should be interesting to see what that one is all about, as they say in Norway. All right, next up we have Circus. Here it is. This is another children's software, but it's from Voyager, who released very good CD-ROMs back in the 90s, one of my favorite companies from that era. And just in case you don't know me, I'm really into 90s multimedia titles, which is why the Pippin is of particular interest to me, apart from just being an Apple product. Here's the back of it. I assume this one is going to be all Japanese. We'll have to find out, because it was also released in English on the PC and Mac, so that might be better to look at that version instead. Next up we have Yellows. Here we go. Yellows. This is also new and sealed, which is making it annoying because I keep getting glare on the cellophane. So this is a collection of photographs from Akira Gomi. Again, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. My apologies. I'm very, very white. So yes, it's a collection of photographs which I'm into. I appreciate the art of photography, but I have to be careful when I do a video about this, because it looks like it's going to contain nudity, because you can see half a bottom on the back of the case. Ooh. Alright, next up we have, what is convenient, we have Yellows 2.0, which is a second collection of photographs from the same person. This one seems to focus on Tokyo in 1993, which really interests me because photographs can capture, well, photographs and film capture places at a very certain time, in this case 1993, and in Tokyo 1993 obviously doesn't exist anymore, so I'm excited to check that out. Next up we have Thomas and Friends. I was a big fan of Thomas the Tank Engine when I was younger, so I'm keen to check it out, but most excitedly, it seems like it has little 3D, probably pre-rendered, but track bits. So that's going to be pretty cool to check out, I think. Next up is Tropic Island Pimble, a proper game for the system, in case you think all these other ones aren't doing the job. And this is actually a pretty solid pinball game, so I'm quite excited to play this one, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. There's a back of it there. So if you're a fan of pinball, keep an eye out for this one. Next up we have Chibico Club, which is another children's entertainment software product. I also don't know what this one really entails either. On the back of it, looks like it's pretty standard stuff for an entertainment game, but we'll take a look at it. It may surprise us, it may not. We'll find out. This one is called Short Stories for a Sleepless Night. And as usual, I'm not sure what this one is all about, but it looks like it's going to be one of those click on things and watch things happen kind of games, which I actually quite enjoy. I have quite a soft spot for those. So it should be fun checking that one out. Here's the back of the case, yeah. There we go. Oh, man, I've been doing this video for ages. I could really go for a tea break. So this is a collection of those solitaire peg games, when you move the pegs around and try to remove them off the board. I believe it's called pegging. Here's the back of it. So this was a Pippin exclusive back when it was released in 1996. But then in 2008 they ported it to Windows and Mac. And next up we have Duzzleoids. This is another Voyager product, and then another children's piece of entertainment, but this one is really fantastic. I'm very excited to do a video about this one. This one's in Japanese, so I might only do a small focus on this version of it, but it's also came out in English on PC and Macintosh. It was created by the chap who did the art for Parappa the Rapper. This game may have played an important part in gaming history, and by extension the Pippin would have played an important part in gaming history, but I'm still waiting to confirm that information, so I won't share that yet. Next up we have my other Music Island game. This one is for the Four Seasons. So here it is again. So I'm really hoping they're at least somewhat interesting, since I have got 3 of the 4 of them. If you're wondering, the one I'm missing is the Volume 1, which is based around Peter and the Wolf. Here we have another Amperman piece of software. I presume it's another edutainment thingamajiggy. Here's the back of it. Very nice. A cute little Amper man there. Alright. Give me a moment while I look up the full name for it. What was it called? It was called With Open Eyes, Images from the Art Institute of Chicago. So basically this is just a virtual walk through the Art Gallery of Chicago, or the Art Institute of Chicago, my apologies. So that should be interesting as well. I do have appreciation for art, and I have been to Chicago, but I actually didn't go to the Art Institute there. I was too busy going to the Butterfly Sanctuary like a chump. It was pretty awesome though. If you ever go to Chicago, I highly recommend visiting the Butterfly Sanctuary. Here we have another children's multimedia product, and this is also another one with a name that I'm going to get horribly wrong, but I'm going to give it a shot because I have to try. So this one's called Rando Suru Shogaku One Nensei. There we go. Here's the back of it. It looks very similar to, was it Chikibo Club? Because it's in the same series. Next up we have one of my holy grails for the Pippin. Tuning Glue. This one even comes with the spine card. I'm quite happy about that. I don't really care about that kind of thing, but considering this is one of 2 Pippin games that I actually really want, I'm quite chuffed about it. Here's the back of it. So the reason why this is of significance was the first product made by the people who did Parappa the Rapper and all that. It's basically a music making software. It's a creatainment like Dragonball Z anime designer, in that it's for making music but not professionally. It's more for having fun with. So that should be cool to check out as well. In case anyone's wondering, the other holy grail on Pippin for me is Super Marathon, because I'm wearing a shirt. So if anyone out there wants to sell me their copy, hook me up. Next up, we have the strategy game Nobunaga's Ambition Returns. Again, I'm likely pronouncing that wrong. I should have looked up how to pronounce all these before. So this is a remake of the original game, which came out on the Nintendo and I think SNES as well. Not sure. But it's a remake of an older game and a quite famous series, especially in Japan, as not so much in the West. So that should be interesting as well. And I got 2 more left to show you. We're almost at the end. This one's a little bit different, and I'll tell you why in a second. So first we have Ultraman, action designer. Here's the one called Ultraman. And here's the back of this one. Ooh. So this is basically Dragon Ball Z anime designer, but with Ultraman instead. It's also made by the people who did Flying Colors. And it's in a big box, and I'll explain why in a second, because I also got another big box game here. So the next title I have is also a big box, and it is a Gundam game. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the anime, the theme song that's all anyway, this one's called Mobile Suit Gundam Zion Dukedom Military File. And although the box for Ultraman is a little bit beat up, this one is pretty good nick. It's quite a pretty box as well. Check this out. Whoa. Look at that. It's like a little book, like a military file. Whoa. It looks really cool. And there's the actual thing there. I didn't show you action Ultraman because it's not nearly as pretty. Pretty swifty. It was pretty nice. So the reason why these ones are large boxes is because they are among the very few Pippin titles that are cross-platform with both Macintosh and Windows. So it's compatible with Pippin, Macintosh, and Windows. And so one presumes that they didn't want to use the standard Pippin cases because people wouldn't realize that it's also for Windows machines as well. So there's lots of Ultraman and Gundam products on the Bandai Pippin because it's the Bandai Pippin. So that's all the games I have right now. I also downloaded a bunch of ISOs because to my understanding the Pippin has no copy protection. I'd rather not do that, but it could be literally years before I find other titles on eBay because they don't come up very often. It may be a while before I do the videos because I need to find a capture card, I need to get a power converter for the Pippin, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and also other stuff to do in my life I need to take care of as well. But it's definitely going to happen sooner or later. And so that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this little exciting unboxing video. It was a new experience for me. Hopefully it was fun, and I'll catch you around. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe down here somewhere. I don't know. Usually I do videos about Macintosh games because I want to show that the Macintosh indeed did have many games, in fact had some very good ones. So that's the whole goal of my channel. So I'll catch you around.